In a single week, a 1 million-square-foot distribution warehouse in California burned to the ground, an Amazon fulfillment center in Ohio caught fire, and a Molotov cocktail was thrown at the home of OpenAI CEO. These incidents land in the same week because they share a common tension. One is a story about wages and dignity. The other is about AI displacement. Together, they reflect a workforce watching corporations extract value while telling humans to step aside for a model. This chart tracks tech sector layoffs in Q1. 78,557 workers were cut across 231 events. The catalyst is clear. Almost 48% explicitly cite AI as the driver, a metric that has more than doubled in just 90 days. The macro data translates to immediate human fallout at legacy brands. In a single 48-hour window, Snap and Disney eliminated a combined 2,000 roles, overseen by executives like Disney's Josh D'Amaro. The rationale from leadership follows a specific playbook. Disney cites the need for a technologically enabled workforce, while Snap's CEO points to AI now writing over 65% of their new code. On forums like r/layoffs, workers who worked through vacations and hospital stays are sharing stories of being cut without ceremony. The consensus is clear: company loyalty is dead. Relying on traditional corporate loyalty to protect your career is a mathematically flawed strategy when the system is actively optimizing for algorithmic efficiency over human retention. Look past the daily layoff announcements, and you'll find a quieter signal happening inside these same companies. This pie chart shows the results of a recent report on the future of work. Out of the employers who conducted AI-driven layoffs, 55% now regret making those cuts. Companies like IBM, Salesforce, Google, and Meta are currently engaged in quiet rehiring, bringing back up to half of the specific roles they recently eliminated. Leadership assumed automated models could handle the workload, but the technology cannot replicate the customer-facing, trust-dependent tasks that require an actual human. However, you have to verify where the real demand is. Job postings that linger online for 60 days with no new hires from that team are often just corporate vibe checks, not open positions. Spending hours sending resumes into the void of deceptive public postings is a trap. The priority is learning to filter out the static to locate the structural gaps where companies are actually bleeding talent. The most successful candidates right now are stopping the broad, frantic application approach and getting much quieter and more deliberate. The first step is defensive. Build an emergency fund the day you are laid off, lock down a strict budget, and utilize the WARN Act window to maximize your severance. Next, prioritize warm introductions over cold applications. Message former coworkers to offer help first. Their referrals consistently beat cold submissions. When you secure an interview, actively ask how the team is adopting AI and what their 12-month timeline looks like. This signals you are present tense and tells you instantly if the role has a future. Survival in this market is no longer about having the best resume. It requires operating a disciplined, emotionless personal pipeline for your job search. The era of easy money in tech is over, and the baseline for employment has shifted. This map shows where fresh capital is actually moving. Funding is drying up in traditional software nodes and surging into AI data centers and quantum-accelerated infrastructure. Companies positioned in these sectors are actively hiring. CycleTree just closed a $100 million Series A, while Anthropic and Figma maintain hundreds of open roles globally. These companies are hiring technical infrastructure teams alongside UX researchers, business operations leads, and partner success managers. Navigating this landscape requires dropping the solitary bootstraps narrative. Treat your career as an organized, informal workers' rights story. Informal networks, like a Slack group of laid-off coworkers, function as vital intelligence nodes. Solidarity is no longer just a sentiment, it's a job search strategy. The job market is now an asymmetric machine, but by treating a career as a data-driven operation, the individual strips the algorithm of its power and operates with the same level of discipline as the companies themselves.